James? No, I have to sort that shit. Matt? Thank you, and Flory. Alrighty.
Do you need me to do it again? Was I being a prick?
No, you're good. I'll figure that out. Okay, you're good to go whenever you are ready, James.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh yeah, there's no like live count.
No. I quite like the idea of doing this cold open. I think it's quite fun. How is everybody?
Shit.
Yeah. Look at them. I mean, we didn't even start. And
Hi, and
Oh,
welcome
great
to the
time.
Open
It's a
Channel
Wednesday.
podcast.
what is happening?
This episode is pre-recorded. You're here with James Henshaw, Mr. Flory, Matt Ferguson, and Tom Luther. Sorry, I've been
Is
a
this
prick.
real,
Yeah,
or are we
yeah,
going to
no,
start
we
again?
might.
Because I don't know
Let's
what's
just
happening.
carry on. It's fine. How are you all? You all right?
Like I said, shit.
Yeah, you kind of look as if you want to throw yourself off a bridge.
Don't puke against the screen, please.
Yeah.
So I'm back. How was the episode without me? Did you miss me?
Yeah.
It was
We had a-
I hate these two
Doesn't
idiots.
it
I
really
hate
shock
them
her?
both. I hate them. And I don't hate you as much.
Oh, okay. So I'm the least hated. That's a nice thing. I did actually watch. I mean, I was commenting in some of it. I did watch along. I found it incredibly amusing. It was hilarious to watch. I think from a viewer/listener perspective, it was definitely an event. It was definitely
That's what it's supposed to be, right?
It's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny because it's like I'm like, oh, I could host this.
I could
It's
do
fucking
this.
piss easy. I've watched a million podcasts, right? And then I'm like, yeah, well, I'll just say the ins and outs, right? And didn't think of it, give it 1 second's thought. So when it was like, okay, go, and I'm like, right, now I don't actually know
Yeah,
what
you
we
just-
say.
It's
And
the
then
fucking
nobody
dead air.
says,
It's
"Hey,
the dead
Tom."
air, isn't it?
Yeah, I wanted to make a joke.
Yeah,
I wanted
I
to
was-
make a joke or a point about like live sketching because people are like, you do live sketching. And then it ended up just being me doing shit doodles for like 15 minutes.
100. It could have been 100.
And then
hours
afterwards
for
going,
all I know.
I hate sketching.
That I can imagine you. This is how I imagine you working when you're at home on your own, just like sketching and still going, I fucking hate this. I hate my job. I hate my life. What am I fucking doing? It is quite.
That's what I hear all day.
I know.
Seriously,
And I kind
it's
of
true.
like. I mean, I do feel for you massively when you're kind of having a bit of a stress and you're kind of talking to us. I'm like, I don't know. I want to make you feel better. I want to
No, you just need to
calm you
be
down.
an empty vessel for the rage. That's all you need to be.
Yeah.
You just got to let it wash. It sort of wash over, and then I always try to be like. It's funny because I'm not positive, like especially when it's the other way around. But when he's throwing it at me, I'm like, mate, don't worry, it's all gonna be fine. You just have her in a different pose or whatever. And that's like all I'm thinking is like these guys.
Serious, though. Serious. You get attached to something and you think this is the best poster I've done in a long time, and then somebody's just like pokes their head in the door basically and goes, "Oh no, don't think so. Change it."
Yeah, do you know who does that to me the most?
It's fine when it's the other way around.
Yeah.
So
So
there you
now
go.
Matt knows how every artist we work with.
What do you mean? I know it
No,
all the
I'm
time. It happens on
joking.
every job.
Yeah.
It happens on every job because there's always feedback, and then you need to just divorce yourself from it and remember that it's a job, and it's good. It is good to be reminded that it's a job.
It's not
You
a
see,
baby.
Lots of people think we're just pissing about with Transformers, having fun all the time. No,
You see, when
working till 1
you know what I'm
a.m.
enjoying?
Working till 1 a.m. to try and solve problems on pictures on a
yeah,
regular basis. You know.
you know,
Do you know what I'm enjoying now? I'm having a bit of a throwback looking at Matt down there with his iPhone with his earphones tucked in up his shirt. Reminds me of when you take your Discman to school and you had to you thought you were being really fucking cool by putting it up his shirt. The teachers
Yeah.
will
Where
never
your
see
You're all like-
earphones?
you're all
So
like
you-
elite.
are you
The
just
kids,
hanging out. Just
guys,
hanging
the
out.
kids
Fuck
still
that,
do
I'll
that.
do the same.
Kids still do that.
Okay, don't take the piss out of me.
Well, no, they don't. They just have them in their
But-
ears and don't
but-
give a shit and walk around all day.
But there's
with
some of
in
them
there.
that they still do that, and they still have it the cable version. So
Is that the poor kids? Is it?
No, it's the kids. It's the kids that lose the wireless ones.
Because I'm not paying another $250 for that, you little prick. Just wear the wired ones.
You know,
I've got
did
some
you used to do the
like
thing
wireless
where,
ones.
oh, the
They
AirPods.
don't work. They don't work with this.
No, I find like recording. These are my wireless headphones, but they're plugged in. Because I get latency. I get it kind of like you're all doing something and you laugh, and then 30 seconds later I'm like, ah! And it's kind of so like, yeah.
Well, that throws you off too, right? It's like you hear your own voice 2 seconds later.
Yeah.
Send you mad.
So for the sake of being stuck
tech
with the
chats.
meter,
That's what turned off
an amazing
my own
opening
voice.
to this.
it is. It's the best.
video.
I think it's the best opening we've ever done. If I'm honest, I
We've
think.
already lost everybody that was going to be listening.
Nah, I don't think so. I think they prefer this kind of
Right.
stuff to the
I don't
to the
know.
actual
I know
poster
I
stuff.
wouldn't.
Would you know?
But-
I like listening to this stuff.
What? Move on to movies and stuff.
I
or
just
something.
want to say, speaking of rage, She-Hulk teaser trailer. What do you guys think?
I think it looks good. However, obviously unfinished at this point.
Polish.
You mean this
Needs a bit of polish.
this VFX that I did on my computer here?
But I mean that's just part of the course. It happens
Yeah.
in trailers all the time. They'll just add another pass. It just needs like a bit of contrast, a bit more highlights because it's very flat.
Yeah.
And it'll just get umphed up.
But
Shading.
I hope that they haven't.
What is that?
Sort of stuck themselves in a corner there. Like, I think maybe they should have done a bit of Lou Ferrigno Hulk and just painted her green.
Yeah,
Really?
there's that.
Like, does she have to be bigger?
There's that
I don't
argument,
know.
isn't there? I think she does have to be bigger, but I think wouldn't it have been easier for them to?
But not.
Yeah,
They could have done it
bigger,
like the
she's
Lord
not
of the Rings,
Hulk.
just had her closer to the camera.
Yeah, I was about to see. Yeah, use that like kind of just use forced perspective and then a little bit of VFX and a bit of body paint, just like essentially what they did with Gamora, but then.
Yeah.
Just make people stand 2 foot further away from her or something. I tell you who does look cool.
Just put her.
That they've kind of skipped over massively. You've got Titania in there, which is Jamelia Jamil, which I don't know whether you knew of her beforehand, Florian Tom, but she
Yeah, I
used to
do.
present kids TV over here when me and Matt were like teens. She used to do with Simon Amstel and all of those.
she was
kind of-
in The Good Place.
I know the
Good
actress
Place, right?
because I watched the Good Place, and she's
Oh, is
great
she
in
in
that.
that?
And she seems like she's very sort of got a very noisy Twitter and stuff that she makes some fair points on and stuff like that as well. So I know who she is. I don't know the character she's playing though. Does anyone know?
Briefly, it
character
kind of
she's
looks. She
playing?
looks like a bit of a just a glam rock thing. I think she was very much a product of. I might be wrong. I don't really kind of know Marvel comic history as much as I know DC.
What
but I
happened
think
to
she was
Matt, by the way?
Just
I don't know. Who cares?
keep so I don't know. Yeah, she looks. It's kind of
Who's
cool.
back?
It's just that equal thing where okay, we've got the hero and then we've got a villain who's got similar power set to her. So I kind of like that. But I do. I mean, what I do kind of find quite funny, and I think it's quite. It could be quite
Stop.
good.
Oh, thank God for that.
Is,
Matt looked like the guy who turned into a cat, the lawyer cat.
Yeah.
Why am I a cat? I'm not a cat.
There was a humming noise. It was the other computer which was on, and it's the supercomputer, and it was just whirring away, and I could hear it.
Where we
It
could.
was driving me insane.
But I do like the idea that it's like She-Hulk attorney at law, whereas you kind of hopefully get a bit of a adds a different element to it.
You want
It's
her
more of
representing people and doing.
Yeah, like Franklin
Court
and
cases.
Bash, but with
But
green
this is-
shit.
Franklin and Smash now, huh?
Oh!
The point of these shows has to be that there has to be a point of difference for each thing, or else there's no
Yeah.
don't do it. I don't need to see person fight the other person. You need to have the lawyer show. You need to have the buddy cop sort of Captain America show. You have to have the WandaVision weird sitcom show. There's got to be something to them when it just becomes.
Are we falling apart today?
Generic.
What's up with this episode?
What's going on with
well,
James? Yeah.
Well, this is worth talking about. So, I've got some new face cream and it's got SPF in it.
Oh,
And it keeps getting in my fucking eye. And it's horrible.
Face cream. Mate, I never use no cream. Nothing.
yeah,
That's
we
why
can
I
see
look
that.
like
Here he goes.
Unbelievable.
Gotta have
At
your
least I'm not all shiny.
Oh, well, that's
You
just
lot.
the sweat and the. Oh, so anyway, so
You
it's
all
kind of
disgust me.
this SPF shit's getting in my eye, and it does it every single day.
What-
Stop fucking rubbing your
Mine
face.
doesn't. I have a good
You
one.
peanut.
I have a.
What-
Exactly.
Well, this is a good. This was like 30 quid for a little tube that my wife kind of was like, "Oh yeah, this is great."
But why are you put? Why
It's
is
not.
It anywhere
No, it's because I'm a
near your
sweaty
eyeballs?
cunt, and it's like it just drips down into my eyes, and like because I've just stormed back from the dentist, so I've like got right dab on, and it's just dripped.
He's
into
always
my eye.
off doing stuff, James. Golfing, dentisting,
Hey, business.
Yeah,
brain surgery, and he's always doing stuff.
But
You know, you
I
gotta
thought.
keep-
Whereas I get home and sit down at my desk, and then I realize it's 2:30 in the afternoon. I've forgotten to eat, and I need to go pick up the children. That's my life.
I thought earlier he was laughing so hard that he was like crying because of laughing, but it wasn't like
Oh
this.
no, I wish because this is stinging like fuck. But I might have to just. I'm just gonna have to.
Just now.
Yeah,
you
I'm just
step
gonna rinse
away.
my eye out. It'll be 2 seconds. Talk about something.
Yeah,
Don't
this
leave
is-
dead
this is
air.
the episode where we all step away.
It's super professional.
various
episode.
reasons.
Hey, yeah.
Maybe
You know
the doors
what
were
I
open.
watched actually, as an interesting counterpart, and to something that I don't think some of us have seen. The James Gunn's The Suicide Squad popped up on Netflix, right? I didn't see that when it came out because,
And?
like DC.
Did you commit
Who cares?
suicide?
I liked it for what it was. I thought it's easily the best thing that's in that universe, and I thought it was okay. So I thought, oh well, I better watch this Peacemaker thing now because that also popped up
That's
on one
better.
of my
That's
streaming services, and it made the movie 10 times better retrospectively. It's one of those things. I think he, as much as like, oh, James Gunn, he's hilarious and he makes things look cool and all this sort of stuff, what he's actually good at is writing character moments and building character in a very small amount of time and making a bunch of dodgy bastards lovable, which is obviously done with the Guardians to, great effect. And he does it with this because every character that's in that show is in the Suicide Squad, and I was like, oh god, they're the worst parts of it. Even actually including John Cena, I thought he was pretty bland in the film. Idris Elba was like more interesting, and some of the other people. Polka Dot Man, shout out. But this Peacemaker thing, by the end of it, I was all over it. Like all these side characters, he's built them up, made it interesting. Great show all around.
I do keep meaning to watch it. I quite liked James Gunn's Suicide Squad. I think it was my least favourite of his films, but I did enjoy it. But on the contrary, it was also the best DC film they've done prior to the Batman.
Correct.
Post Nolan. And I think
That's
Better
good.
than
if you-
Shazam.
oh,
If you
actually,
were-
no, I take that back. Shazam is better. I'm kind of... I always missed Shazam because I kind of classed Shazam almost separately to those...
It's very different, isn't it?
But
Yeah.
no, Shazam's brilliant.
There's a blandness to Shazam though that is I think why people forget
It's
about
like
it.
quite
just
low
very
budget,
safe
isn't it?
And yeah, it's just a safeness and a blandness to it, and that's of no fault of anyone in it or anything. Like I think it was fine.
Yeah.
And it's a good jumping off point for doing more with that. I think having the kid that turns into a superhero is a cool angle.
Like Banana Man.
But the problem is they've left so long since since
Man.
like recording since filming the last Shazam to the new one coming out. Aren't all the kids like in their mid-30s now or something like that? It's like it kind of
Well, it's like fucking Stranger Things. They're wandering around with like.
They're all 8
goatees
Oh,
and
tall
shit.
as well.
Like, what
They're
the
all
fuck?
so tall.
Did you see that picture of
Children
Millie
in the
Bobby
80s
Brown?
were
So-
never tall.
Yeah, MBB. I don't know who's dressing that kid, but like, let her just be 18 for Christ's sake. That's
She looks
fucking
like a
weird.
retired supermodel, like kind of like that kind
Yeah,
of thing.
it's
It's
weird.
very
It
it's
is a
very
little bit
strange
creepy.
because she was what?
Anyway, so I'm rewatching that too, and that's fucking weird. When you put on that first episode and those 4 kids are sitting around that table in the basement and start, and like, these are tiny babies, little tiny baby people. And now they're just like, rolling around 18, 19.
They're all gangly.
Yeah, it's crazy. They're children, like really young, but they're actually very good. I think that show lived and died, especially on like Millie Bobby Brown with that, just the face that she had and the way she could convey emotion. Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah,
When is
season
it? When's it
four's
come
out.
out? June?
No, no. Part one's like
It's May 27th because I'm trying to get through all of it so we can roll straight
They
into
split it
season
into
4.
2 parts, aren't they? They release in season 4, part 1, similar to what they did with Ozark.
Yeah, did you guys finish it?
Ozark?
Yeah,
I did. Yeah, I was really.
I did too.
Yeah, no.
So I'm not going to spoil it.
I haven't.
But did you
started
like
season,
it or not? I mean,
whatever it
it's
is.
not spoiler.
No,
Okay.
I didn't like the last
Did,
episode.
the season 4, I mean, or just
Season 4 I think was the best season that
Okay.
they've done. The last episode was the worst episode they've done.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
always the way. Isn't it? It's so hard to.
It
end
just
these
it finishes
things.
like a season finale rather than a series finale. I kind of found, which, you know, but again, it's one of the best. It's the best thing. It's the third best thing Netflix have ever done.
It's the 11th best. Hey Matt, have you watched anything recently?
Yeah, we watched a documentary series called The 100-Foot Wave, which was pretty good.
Oh,
Yeah.
you mentioned that to me.
About Garrett McNamara. And
It's
he's
great,
this old
right?
dude, he's like 50, and he likes surfing 100-foot waves. Well, trying to, they're not that big. In Portugal.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
He's nuts.
It's crazy.
It's a bit like, like free solo and stuff. They've just got something, these sorts of people have got something wrong in their
A
head.
screw loose.
Where they feel like they've got to do that, and they've got like wives and children and stuff. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But it is amazing.
I also
watch as
watched. Speaking of free solo, I watched the last Tepuy on Disney Plus when they travel up the up mountain, and like try to find some new animals and species and stuff.
Oh, okay.
It was really cool.
What?
With the mountain,
What-
mountain from up.
The mountain.
Yeah,
from
it's
up.
like in the Amazon, like where
Yeah,
they
like a
have like those
plateau thing.
plateau block kind of like.
Uh-huh. Are we saying that there's places up there that no one's been up?
No, probably not
that
up
what we're
there,
saying,
but
yeah?
maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure. But the thing is, they didn't search for new species, especially on the walls. So they kind of like get Alex Hanold in to like be like the climber expert.
Like we're thinking like a weird fucking lizard or something
Yeah,
that just like clings to the side. or
Spoiler
whatever,
alert: they
shit
found
that.
like I don't know 20 something plus
Dinosaur.
animals, like new species. I mean, but it's like frogs and stuff. So it's like
Okay.
Yeah.
So this surfing thing, Matt, like going back to that because Tom's was boring. Is it wasn't boring.
Outrageous.
There's something elemental about. I've always been fascinated by those whole kind of surfing, those big things like off of Hawaii and things. That was like always used to be the crazy batshit kind of stuff on
Maverick.
MTV, and when all those kind of what was it like X Channel or X Games and stuff like that, when they
Yeah.
had the huge fucking waves, and it's just. That appeals to me. That appeals to me. I want to watch that. What was that called?
100-foot wave.
Yeah.
He gets like a 78-foot wave, and then he's like, like 48 years old, and he's like, I'm gonna carry on, and everyone's like, don't carry on, and then he like
Yeah,
breaks his
it's
body
crazy.
into a million pieces.
Now he's fucking dead.
That's bonkers, though. That's like tsunami level waves, though.
yeah, that's what.
Oh,
trying
they're
to-
huge. They're
like
absolutely humongous.
What else?
They have
what
like a
else you gonna do?
V-shaped canyon that's underwater. That's why the waves topple up that high because like when the water rushes through there, like they're super big.
Whoa. So
then
have you like?
What's that?
You're Australian, Florrie. Have you ever surfed? No.
I'm like the worst Australian ever. I like the winter more than the summer. I hate
What else?
the beach.
What other stereotypes? Barbecue?
Barbecues.
Yeah.
I'm like, why burn your meat? Just cook it.
You have
cook it
corks
properly.
hanging
Barbie.
off your hats, right?
Yeah.
Little corks on
Never
strings.
seen one of
Little
those
Fosters.
hats.
Fucking
Never
little
seen one.
Fosters.
Yeah, Foster's lager.
Can't even buy it
apparently.
here.
Do you have a koala?
You know
and a
you can't
kangaroo
buy
in your
that.
backyard?
Yeah, I know you can't buy that in
Now
Australia.
that
It's not really
I
Australian.
do have. No, it's not. And the giant beer thing, it's like, because I saw those Foster's cans when I was in New York. I was like, oh, here they are. They're in this fridge. I've never seen one before. We don't have gigantic beers, and we don't drink
Oh,
Foster's.
do you not?
It was a thing.
No,
there's-
no,
well,
not
you
the
can't-
Fosters.
you
The
can't get- it's
gigantic
big-
bit. I heard the term mega pint for the first time
No.
recently.
Mega pints.
And I was
What's
told
that,
that was an
more than a
Australian thing.
pint?
Yeah, so it's like a mega.
Well, I do believe that there is no smaller size glass than a pint. I don't understand the point of other sizes.
Um,
Like we were at the Brooklyn Brewery that time, and we went. All three of us went up to the front. We're like, "Oh, give us a pint of the thing," and they brought out those tiny
I thought it was a
glasses. And we're like,
flipping bargain. I was like, oh wow, this is such a bargain. This is only like, compared to other New York prices, this is only like $4 a pint, and then like a thimble gets given to me.
And I think I just said like, have you got any pints? Have you got anything bigger? And she was like, looked at me like I was psychotic. Like, why would you want to drink more beer than this? I was like, I'll see you in 4 minutes then. Like, what the
You're alcoholic, you.
it was weird though, wasn't it? I mean, I get it when
was
it's
the
you get,
tiniest. It wasn't even like a half. It was so small.
It was a schooner, wasn't it? Like what we'd call a schooner here, which is the little one, I think. Again, I don't even know because I just have the big ones.
it's mad. It's bonkers. So, like, just kind of diversing, blah, blah. Yeah.
Diversifying. your
Moving off of the
portfolio,
whole
yes.
She-Hulk thing, Doctor Strange seems to have caused a little bit of a ripple and a bit of contradiction. It seems.
What is this?
This thing's fucking.
You get that too?
Look at this. He has a man.
What is this?
He has a man. There's a man in his head, and that man is also the robot's head when he's in a robot mode.
Oh.
His head
Well, what
is
is
a
this?
robot.
Does it
He's a
Transformers?
headmaster, yeah. Yes,
Yeah, Transformers.
What else
The
is it?
headmaster.
Headmasters. So what's the deal with headmasters?
Their head comes off and turns into a robot that also controls them in
yeah.
the alternative mode. So if they're a car, the robot drives the car.
Oh.
If they're an animal, they like go inside like the
And-
body and they're like, all right, let's go.
I've got my eye on this one who is he's a robot that has a head that is a man, and also he transforms into the giant head of a giant man. So it's like head robot Inception.
It's like Russian dolls.
It's
So the head of the
not really
of
one
the
of
robot
Yeah,
turns
yeah.
into a robot, but that head on that robot, then that robot turns into another head. So it's like a head and a head and a
The
head.
full size no, James, you'll like this. The full size transformer, if you buy all the bits, is like 1.2 meters
Whoa,
tall.
that is an epic fucking builder figure. So what are they gonna do? Like, how many robots is it gonna take to build that? One, that's pretty. That's
Well, no, it's just the head, and then the rest is one toy.
oh really?
The 1.15 meters. Yeah. No one knows how they're going to get it yet because they haven't actually announced any of it. But
Wow.
yeah.
And is that's official?
So what were
through-
you going to
is that-
say?
Can I borrow
What would, before we
$1,000?
rudely started talking about Transformers, what was it? Doctor Strange?
Yeah, I don't. We'll come back to that. I don't
Ah.
care. I want to find out more about this robot.
Strange
So, like,
Transformers.
is that a Hasbro thing then, or is it a like a fan thing, or?
no, we don't talk about such
Transformer.
things.
shall we
Okay,
say.
right. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. So Doctor.
Who's buying Lego Optimus Prime?
Yeah, I'm gonna get that. I kind of like the idea.
How much is it? Do we know?
140 quid, 150 quid. So it'd be like $170 for you or something.
And what? He's about.
He's-
He's about.
No,
12
it's bigger than
inch.
12 inch, I think.
Oh.
About 14, 13.
Why doesn't he have knees?
Because of the stability issues, apparently. They can't get the joints to...
Mate, I've seen Lego Technic build a
course.
fucking
Within a
monster
week,
truck
someone will do a
elephant, okay?
modification to put knees on
So
it.
you can have.
I mean, I don't really care because I just keep them standing like
Yeah.
that.
Battle ready.
So, but it is a very cool model, and I like the fact that it actually transforms.
That is really cool. So you can have an arthritis-riddled Optimus Prime, where he's
Legs
just.
are very
just-
static. Yeah.
You're
He like waddles around like...
gonna put him in a lazy boy.
I am looking forward to that. I do. I mean, saying that,
He's shit his pants and he's just walking like...
my body is failing me today. I've got stuff streaming out my eyes. My nose is running, and like, I feel like
Allergic
you're
reaction.
I think you're going too close. Like you just need to keep out of the
Just don't
like
put any on.
the glasses.
Well, I do. I
around
kind
you.
of like not because bearing in mind like Nat's
under
a
the
trained
bags, mate.
beautician. She kind of like I have a yeah.
Is
That
she?
was what she kind of did out of school and stuff. She's fully trained masseuse. She's a beautician. She still has she still has people come around the house every now and again and does eyebrows and ball bags and bum cracks and stuff like that. So
Ooh,
What is
when
going
I'm
on in
over,
your
I'll,
house,
get the
James?
old
Yeah.
special.
that's why I'm so perfectly groomed all the
Beautician.
time. You know, I have a monobrow naturally. Fun fact. Yeah, I do. I have a full-on monobrow.
I would never
Oh, that's
have
big.
guessed.
And that's kind of...
His hairline actually does come all the way down there.
I have a unibrow as well, and Kate plucks it every now and again, but not really.
Yeah. It's, it's a problem.
If you're blind, it doesn't matter because you can just get thick
Yeah.
glasses.
Before I went on holiday, I trimmed my leg hair because I get
Wear my specs
I get
on.
really hairy. So like I've got a body trimmer thing
Here we
that has
go,
like
people.
attachments. So like for your hair. So I did like a grade 4 on my legs.
Yeah.
So it's not bald. I mean they're hairy.
Oh, come on.
They're hairy,
Come
but
on.
like
Children might be watching this.
that's my leg. What did you think that was? So yeah.
Nobody needs to see any leg. We are good Victorian English people.
Okay.
Keep that leg
I
covered up.
believe that I believe that if you are hairy in a spot, you may neaten, but you should not mess.
Yeah. I'm
too
just
much.
hairy.
Because once you start messing, that's when you get into trouble.
Very hairy all over.
It wants to be there.
Oh,
just,
it didn't come off.
How hairy
nature
is
runs
everybody's
course.
bum? How hairy is everybody's bum here?
Currently, not very hairy.
Shave-
Naturally,
shave
Because you
very
wax it
hairy.
all though, don't you? Apparently, because you've got to get that little tushy out. Apparently,
Those dingleberries.
Oh man.
I've got
No,
a very hairy
this is
bum.
the worst. This is the
I've
lowest
got a
point.
very
This is the
hairy
low
bum.
point.
You know, like a sheep's ass. It's a bit beep, 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 beep.
Yeah. So
This might be the part where I walk.
oh yeah.
off, I think.
Why? So are you gonna? Do you need to do some?
I think I need
lighting?
to
a
shave
B
your bum?
day. I can see why a B day would be a good thing in the
100%.
bathroom.
Yeah, I'm interested, but I'd want to get the Japanese
Oh, yeah, like-
laser targeted one. You know,
Yeah.
partly because Japanese stuff's just cool, but also just for the functionality.
It is. Unless that's not go down that route, I'm just going to agree with Matt because I agree with Matt.
Hey,
But we don't need to go into the specifics.
what about
Posters.
posters?
Well,
Does
Doctor
I
anyone-
had a
Strange.
Dune
Doctor Strange.
poster. I had a Dune poster out.
But yeah,
just
let's
yesterday.
talk Dune.
You did the Dune poster. I'm
Yeah.
kind of gonna just blow smoke up your arse a little bit here. I think the Dune poster is one of the best posters you've done. I think the colours and just the kind of how you're rendering people now and all of that. I thought it was very good. I think it narrowly is I think the Empire one is narrowly better. But I think
Narrowly, it's about 10 million times better.
in my
I'm
in
not-
my
I'm
humble
not-
personal opinion.
I'm not 100% sure on it.
On what?
The Dune poster.
No.
Why not? What's your concern?
I don't know. Just felt like it could be better.
More time?
I
Not more
think
time. Just. I'm getting bored of doing that composition of the thing in the middle,
Matt
and then a
makes up
small
fake
thing at the
rules
bottom,
that
and
he's-
like that sort of bullet composition. So I'm getting bored of that. So when I do Evil Dead 2, I'm gonna do something wacky. I'm gonna go like Polish or something.
Evil Dead 2, did somebody announce that? Or is it an exclusive reveal?
I don't fucking know. Yeah, I'm doing Evil Dead 2.
hot.
Yeah, we've got
At
the
some
evil.
point.
We've got the Evil Dead 2 license.
Oh, there you
So
go,
we're
people.
doing, which is kind of one of my favourite films, which takes us into Doctor Strange.
The,
Yay! Nice
it's the
segue
best
because
evil,
Sam
the best
Raimi's
Evil
the
Dead
bear.
film, right?
That's causing some like kind of Last Jedi style commenting on the internet. Ooh, I'd covered my mouth up then, so that's going to be muffled.
Can I just say something before we go into Doctor Strange that I saw on YouTube the other day about Evil Dead, and I'd never thought this before,
Go ahead.
but it came from Bruce Campbell. So you know Evil Dead 2 is like a remake of Evil Dead 1.
Yes.
It was because they couldn't get the rights to Evil Dead 1, so they had to sort of redo it.
Yeah.
And he says if you watch it, the way to watch it really, he thinks, is you watch Evil Dead 1 to the end, and then like the ghost comes, the demon comes right at the end to get him.
Yeah.
And then you start Evil Dead 2 at the bit where he gets flung out into the woods,
Oh.
and then it's just a perfect continuation of the story.
It's the Bruce Campbell cut.
Oh, I like that idea.
I would like to someone. I'm not going to do that myself, but I would like someone to put that together for me and let me
And
do
quite
like that.
because obviously they had to like throw all that other stuff in because it was like a different studio and everything.
Well,
Quick poll. Best Evil Dead film. I like
yeah,
number
number
2 closely followed by Army of Darkness.
Yeah. I'd go 2, 3, 1.
Thomas.
I'd say Army of Darkness.
Never seen them.
Army of Darkness is such a great movie. It's so funny, and that's why I like Doctor Strange, because it's very similar to Army of Darkness.
I like that. I like the Evil Dead. That was it. Fede Alvarez.
Yeah.
Did he
That
do
was
that
very-
sequel
Oh, it's like
with
it's
Jamie
more
Lee?
nasty though, isn't it? It's
That
not
movie's
got the humour.
It's fucking. It's pretty. It's.
I like the
It doesn't
humour
have that, but
element.
it's pretty cool. It's a good movie. Though.
I
liked it.
agree. I kind of think
Like,
And this video game looks cool too. This game that they've got out is crazy. Like the timing on that, you've got him directing Doctor Strange, everyone talking about Evil Dead, and then this game just comes out like 2
Which one
weeks
is it?
later. Pretty cool.
it's like a
There's a
multiplayer
video
one, isn't
game. It's one of those. Yeah, it's one versus however many, like Predator and
Yeah.
Friday the 13th. So someone plays the Deadite sort of. I think you're basically playing like the disembodied force or whatever, and you're doing that zooming around the thing, and and then you've got a bunch of people which are all characters from the Evil Dead, and they're trying to survive and get out of the whatever the zone it is, get to an end point before this thing possesses them. So you can go up to like each in the party and do a little thing and possess like Ash or whatever, and then you're Ash fighting everyone else, and that player is like trying to regain control. It's really cool. You can possess the cars and like just shit around so that you can be like a floating fucking deer's head or whatever, attacking them and stuff. It's
that's
really
very cool.
I want to.
Is it just desktop, or is that going to be console?
It's on everything multi-platform, like cross-play now.
wow.
They have, you can play with whoever.
I will
and whatever.
never
It's pretty
play it.
cool. Me neither, but
I like the.
I'll
I
probably
like
watch it on YouTube and be like, oh yeah, look.
That's exactly what I. That's exactly
It's
what I.
nice to know that it exists.
It is, isn't it?
It is. Going back to what, oh God Christ, somebody said about something, and I've forgotten what that was, but it was a point I wanted to talk about, and now.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, Doctor Strange. It wasn't that, but we'll go with that. Oh, that was it. The Bruce Campbell thing. The fact that Bruce Campbell announced that on it exists. It exists somewhere. Somebody should send us a link to that. I want to watch that. Yes, Matt.
4
Yeah.
stars. Doctor Strange.
Out of 5?
Yep.
Tom.
Just ask me.
Sorry, it's not better than Macbeth. Sorry.
Hey,
Oh.
can't be.
The reason
If only
being
it was
is
made by an
because it's
Indian director.
a lot of fun, and it's different to other
Hey.
Marvel movies, and it's also
Is
shot so incredibly well. And I love a film that looks good
It looks
with
stunning.
good cinematography, unlike The Green Knight, which had shit cinematography. That is how not to like a film, because you can't see what's going on. There's no definition of characters. There's no interesting sort of depth to the frame, because nowadays they just shoot digitally and they think, well, we'll do it in post, and there's no lighting, so characters aren't silhouetted or highlighted, and then that feeds into the editing, because it's got Sam Raimi's editor on it, that film, and that film is edited so well. You don't get lost. You know exactly what's going on. You can follow all the action. It's a great, fun popcorn movie. Script could be better.
I
Script
will
could be better.
say, script could be better. I will say I was taken aback watching it by how much they let Sam Raimi direct that
Exactly.
movie. He had all of his little eccentricities and weirdness and bullshit, which I was actually, when they announced him, I was somewhat worried about, because I liked Scott Derrickson's work on Part 1, right? And I was like, oh, I don't know, they're not going to let him go full Sam Raimi, though. And he went full Sam Raimi, and the things that I was worried about ended up being my favourite things
Yeah,
about
Yeah,
the movie.
agreed.
All the weird fucking cross dissolves and the stupid reflections that make no sense, and like the punching in and out of things, and yeah, just all these odd things that are very much Sam Raimi. The horror elements that he brought to it, I really enjoyed as well. That when they're in that tunnel scene, I was like, shit, what we've got some Terminator Evil Dead shit. It's all like crossed together here. It's not. I don't think it's the best Marvel movie, and I don't think anyone can argue that point. But I think it's one of the most interesting ones that they've done, and it shows that they are still they're still trusting hiring interesting directors and trusting them to make films. It's just that has not worked recently with Chloe Zhao, and some people would argue that this didn't work either, but I would rather that they did this than just was like, I'll just hire Scoot McNairy and Jim McGubbins and let them just be our generic directors.
Yeah.
I think this is a much better way to go.
Do you think that most people's gripes, though, that I've read anyway, seem to be more around the story rather than the visual and the directing?
100%. There's people that are upset about Wanda being bad, and it's just like, well, it was basically hinted at, and and it's great, and that's what the title is. The madness is her madness, and the fact that it drives people crazy. The book. And they definitely could have made more of that in A, the marketing, and B, even within the film, but it's there, and that's what the storyline is all about, in my opinion.
I think part of it is that people are somewhat misremembering the very end of
100%,
WandaVision.
yeah.
It's, if you look at it now, if you go back and watch that end credits scene where she's in her, as we know now, fake kind of... reality there with the Darkhold. We're not watching... She didn't land there yesterday and set up a little house. What that scene is set, 4 months later, as she's been using the Darkhold for months, and she's already taken by it, and she hears through her dream. She's learned to dream walk and hears the children. We know that now. Back then, it looked like she was just like going to sit there in her apple orchard and read a nice book and not get taken over by it. And I think that's what is throwing people off, because if you listen to what Agatha said, she's like, "There's no fucking way you're going to fuck around with that book and not go evil. You're the Scarlet Witch. You're chaos. You're going to end the world." And she's like, "Nah, bro, I'm not." And that's what we expected, because she's a good guy, right?
But and that's interesting. I think it's more interesting.
Turns out. I think so too. As much as I did want to see Wanda's redemption, and I love Vision. Vision's always been one of my favorite characters since I was a kid, and I wanted to see all that happen again, and for his color to bleed back into him when they found each other again, and that can maybe still happen. But we've had this, and I think this was interesting, and I liked it.
Also, the eyeball, when it came out of the octopus, made a popping sound. It went pop, pop. And it was the coolest shit I've ever seen in any Marvel movie. That is like my favourite single moment in any Marvel movie is the eyeball pop, because it was ridiculous, and I mean, it was awesome. It was pure comic book, Sam Raimi, cheesy like the Spider-Man movies, and I can see why people who have got used to the more sort of restrained Marvel style, especially since the Russo brothers got very popular with the Civil War and what they did with Endgame and stuff. This is much more comic booky and cheesy and silly, but it's the right side of like owning that and being like not ashamed of it. It's like when I talk about the Nolan Batman movies, how what I don't like about them is how they're ashamed of the comic book. They like always try to distance themselves and say, "Oh, this is based on Heat. This is like a Michael Mann movie." And it's like, no, it's a dude in a bat costume running around fighting crime. It's stupid. And this movie just embraces that whole sale, because like Sam Raimi's got no filter and no shame for corny, schmaltzy stuff. Like the lovey-dovey stuff is just so cheesy but great. And also, they hardly ever have romances like that in a Marvel movie, and I like to see it.
Yeah.
I would say that it wouldn't have worked for any other Marvel property just about, unless they gave him something brand new that was like really fucking already odd and dark. But I think we can allow this for Doctor Strange, like this vibe. And I don't think his next appearance, it doesn't need to be anything like this.
No.
We can just go to someone else. This can just be the fucking weird one. Like, that's fine. It used to happen all the time. Look at what we've got, like Gremlins 2, like stuff like that. It was always like the vibe between sequels would
just
change.
Look at Batman Forever next to Batman Returns. They just went,
that.
we'll just do whatever. Who cares? And I kind of like, it's got a very old school comic book movie feel to it, which I can understand why people are like, I don't like this, because it's just tonally out of left field. But I just either go with it or you don't.
It adds variety to it, doesn't it? It makes it kind of different. It makes it something interesting again. And like Florrie said, they tried it with Eternals to do like kind of the other end of the spectrum. You've kind of, if you've got Civil War in the middle, you've got kind of Eternals over here that's kind of so kind of dour and po-faced and whatever.
Yeah.
And then you've got Multiverse of Madness kind of completely over here, and you've got a spectrum between. So you've got Thor Ragnarok that's kind of halfway across this side. And me and Matt were rewatching Thor, the first Thor, the other day, and talking to each other through that. God damn, that is a fun movie. Like,
Aged quite well, the first Thor. I like it.
yeah, that is really good.
I always
know.
liked it. I never.
When
it's
he's like,
should you have
"But
bleached
you're
his
not!"
eyebrows and shit? No.
Anthony Hopkins
Yeah.
being so theatrical and ridiculous. The weird thing about rewatching that though is Tom Hiddleston looks like he's about 12.
Yeah.
It's
It does,
really
doesn't
like
it?
shocking. It's like, oh,
Tiny.
he's not meant to be much
Because you would look at you
older.
look at him now and you're like, oh, he's in in Loki the show. He's like thin as like, but he's not. He's actually fucking ripped for his frame.
Yeah.
Like he's just cut up. He's just really cut up, you know. But yeah, he's a child in that. He looks like a child in that movie.
So Tom, what did you think about Doctor Strange? And obviously, I'm going to agree with you because I can understand why people don't like it. Like my wife did not like it; she hated it.
It's not like I hated it or anything. It's just like I had so much problem with the story and the ideas of it. And I mean, I mentioned it on my German podcast. I had falling out with James Hobson last week on the poster podcast about it for like 15
Oh, he
minutes.
loves it as well, doesn't he, James?
Yeah, he does. And yeah, but he can see my point though. But it's just agree to disagree in the end here. But it's not like I didn't have a good time, but I don't feel like revisiting it.
I can honestly.
Okay.
I've got. It's not one of those where like sometimes it's like it's a classic film, and you go, why don't you like that? When somebody says, I don't like Star Wars, it's like, what's wrong with you? This I can totally understand why people don't like it, and it's like a real. But what I really like is that it went with it, and it's a real vibe, and they didn't.
Yeah, I mean that's
hamstring Sam Raimi, and then that just makes you think, well, what's going to come next with other directors and stuff.
It's
but
like
I
if
think
they
that's for most people not the problem in terms of not. I mean, I wouldn't, as I said, I wouldn't say I don't like it. I just wished they had story-wise put something different in there, and maybe some more multiverse, because I really enjoyed the multiverse scene where you could see everything. I wanted to see more of that. In my
could have
opinion.
been half an hour longer, couldn't it? I feel like there was definite stuff
Yeah.
changed. You could feel that, and it got away with it, but also,
What do you guys?
There was more stuff.
What do you guys think about? This is spoiler, people. So you haven't seen it. This is a little spoiler question here. But what do you guys think of a Wanda versus the Illuminati fight?
I thought it was amazing to watch. I'm just going to put right in, James. I saw you were going to go, but I'm going.
Go.
I thought it was amazing to watch, but it didn't actually technically further the story. And that was the one sequence that I felt was not necessary, really, to the storyline of the film.
More as well as Mordo.
Well, Mordo's a different Mordo, but he was obviously the dumb Mordo, because it was just like, why are you fighting Doctor Strange now? You know she's coming. What? He's already warned you. It was a bit weird,
it's
that whole
interesting.
sequence, but whatever.
It was.
I think there's a whole lot in there that is it's I can see I'm both disappointed by it, but I understand why it needs to be that way for this movie that he was making. And I don't think they should have. It would have been. I think it would have worked better in the film if we had no fucking idea that any of that was going to be in it. They ruined it by, in the same way that a lot of the shows can become disappointing as they go on, when we're like, oh my fucking God, we're going to get all of this in it, and all this is going to happen, because we're sitting there for 9 weeks wondering what's going to happen. Yeah, so it's like, I just think if we had and I did cheer in the cinema when that X-Men music came in, but if you had no fucking idea that he was in it, I probably would have shit my fucking pants in the movie. And it would have been the most exciting goddamn thing ever. Similarly, I really did enjoy John Krasinski. I thought he was perfect as Reed, and I hope they keep him. And similar to how I felt when he popped up and I was like, holy fuck, it's actually him. I would have felt that for the whole thing, that entire universe, all of it. They're very good at not spoiling things, and I understand that they're trying to sell tickets to things. But
But it
when
would've
it's
sold.
only a 20-minute kind of thing in the middle of a movie that's not consequential to the plot, don't put it forward as the
And
big
especially,
like maybe don't call this the Multiverse of Madness. Like it shouldn't have been. It was like call it we jumped over
The
here for a
Book
bit.
of Madness
They
or
didn't go
whatever, the
around
Dark
every-
Hole something.
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
it's,
it was just a batshit
what
crazy.
did you think about the Illuminati bit, James?
Thank you for asking, Matt. I
polite
kind of
tonight.
thought, in my view of it was, so I agree with Florrie completely. I think the trailer spoiled it, but Kevin Feige said that, didn't he? He's kind of said, look, I'm disappointed with the fact that we included that. And I think that's,
Oh, he
yeah,
did.
and
He
he
say
kind
that?
of, there was like the drop-offs and stuff. But I thought they did that for two reasons. Firstly, they couldn't have Wanda tearing in half this universe's
Yeah.
thing. So they needed a scene that showed how powerful she was. So that couldn't happen in the 616 universe or whatever it was, the kind of core Marvel universe.
Oh, that's maybe the biggest thing I have an issue with is that.
Yeah.
comic book.
But
Should
but
be
that was straight
617.
again. That was straight. But anyway, so I think they had so they wanted something that showed the power, and then there was kind of like, okay, so how can we make this as it is? It is completely inconsequential, but it is just there to show how powerful she was and get the Illuminati in another thing and all this, that, and the other. So it was fun. It was one of those fun things. I think it was kind of one of the most fun scenes in it, but also the most throwaway thing and the thing that you didn't need. Krasinski was great. It was great to see Anson Mount to see Anson Mount as Black Bolt, because I didn't.
Super interesting that they did that. That was maybe.
That was
Did
the
maybe the
surprise.
biggest-
yeah.
Did you guys see the
Yeah.
memes?
I was
Did
like,
you guys see
wow.
the memes where it says like, hey, we got Black Bolt. He can tell
Tell her where her kids are. Yeah.
Exactly. It was funny.
Yeah, I thought that was quite funny. And I think because again, a lot of people went into that. Like I was like, there's no fucking way Tom Cruise is in this and all of that kind of thing. So like, it could have been a good way to introduce Riri or something. I don't know, but.
Yeah.
Krasinski was great, and it'd be quite interesting to see where they go with that whole Fantastic Four thing. I know John Watts has dropped out to do a Star Wars trilogy, hasn't he?
Definitely not in that universe though.
Yeah,
Has
so
he?
he's doing like a coming of age Star Wars trilogy.
He's doing a TV show.
Oh, is it a TV show?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh.
The High Republic one.
Like an
I'm
80s
out.
coming of age, but in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Is it the
So that
Acolyte
could
one?
be. No, it's completely of his own invention, isn't it, Matt?
Yeah, apparently.
Thank fucking Christ. Can someone just fucking make something original in fucking Star Wars? If I hear the name Skywalker one more fucking time,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the Acolyte.
I know I'm going to in a couple of weeks.
No, I agree.
Hopefully they're going to do well with Obi-Wan. I feel like Obi-Wan could be good.
They've got a problem. If they don't, if Obi-Wan's not good, and it's not brilliant, and it's not everything it should be, then they've got a
I
real
mean, people
problem.
liked it though. Maybe not us in particular very much so, but that the shows before.
What?
I
Oh,
liked
I
Mandalorian. It's
So-
okay. It's good fun. And Boba Fett is just like one of those books we used to read when we were kids. You know, like the expanded universe stuff. It's just
The
like,
legacy.
who gives a shit? It's a shame because it could be
Poorly
good.
directed
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Garbo.
the Rancor was cool. The way it
Yeah.
moved and shit.
It had a couple elements that I really liked, like Black Chrysanthemum and stuff like that.
The
but
guys on the Vespers. That was
Yeah.
the best.
that was a little good.
Oh,
That-
I
fucking
loved
hell.
Space Vespers.
Fuck.
And they were
That
like
was
so
one of my
slow.
favourite memes ever was when
When he's spinning.
when somebody superimposed that Seinfeld scene and superimposed George on his mobility scooter into it.
The thing is it's a bit like the prequels, right? In 10 years' time, the kids that are watching this now
Yeah.
are gonna just love it because people really love the prequels like crazily, and like me, I was never a huge fan. I think Phantom Menace is pretty good actually, but like otherwise, I'm not a massive fan of
I
them.
like Revenge.
Do you know what?
But I think Revenge
Do you know
of the
what
Sith
Boba Fett-
is I don't
But
like
Spielberg
the
did it.
negative,
Come
really.
on.
Phantom Menace is the most rewatchable of those three, I think.
Phantom Menace is the best one of the three, definitely.
Book of Boba Fett proved to me that I actually kind of like the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
That's
Because when he
In the-
turns up,
it
when
had
he
the-
turns up, it was
It
like
had the best episode of the Mandalorian.
he was so cool.
I fucking jumped out. It was really, really well directed, that episode, and it made it all seem cool again. Whereas we'd been sitting there with fucking really slow space vespers.
and
for
then
like 4
little
episodes.
baby Yoda cuddled
Wait,
him.
miles
He
an hour
like
chase.
force flew across and hugged him when they saw him. It was the cutest thing ever. I was like, oh, it's his daddy.
It was really cute. I think
Ahsoka could be a very good show too.
Yep.
I think.
yeah,
That could be
I
good.
am. Yeah, they should be pretty good. But
She's good.
there's
She's
such a
good.
huge like universe out there, and the possibilities and kind of use what they've done to develop it would be good. I think just
I think
bounce.
Jedi's, more Jedi stuff, but not just Skywalkers. I like Jedi's. I like the magic power.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
see some more of those.
I would love to see this. What's this Gilded Age?
High
Whatever
Republic?
it's called, where they're like all.
Oh,
that
what,
sort
like
of
a
shit was
1,000 years
cool.
Or the
ago?
Old Republic.
Mm.
Old Republic
Yeah,
is the
I wanna-
best.
Yeah, what?
They should,
any
they should
of it.
do the
Any of it.
cinematic trailers for the video game. I think you can get like 40 minutes of cinematic video gameplay stuff
Yeah.
that they did for the Old Republic, the video game. And if somebody would make a movie out of this would be the best Star Wars you have ever seen.
But
Ever.
But the problem that I have with that is it exists already,
Yeah.
and I've seen it, and we know those characters. Just make.
I would be
something
interested in
new.
seeing how the Jedi
But
came
which-
to be.
Which character?
So the first one, the dude that found out about the Force, or the girl that found out
Yeah.
about the Force, and worked out how to use it. So like sort of like Lord of the Rings, Star Wars. So not spacey, just like on a medieval planet, and this person works out how to use the Force, and then you go, oh, wait a minute, it's Star Wars.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
I
Well,
was
next
about-
to that fucking.
I was
tree,
about to say
right?
exactly the same thing. The
whatever.
Lord of the Rings, or kind of Game of Thrones, kind of the Star Wars kind of.
So before
world.
they got spaceships, could you
Yeah.
imagine that? That
Are two mates,
weird.
and like they both find out, and then one of them is Jedi, and one of them goes evil, and
They
it's
get
a
the
Sith.
they get the
and-
kyber crystals and they invent lightsabers, and then it's like, oh no, and then they go, oh, we can also use these to do space travel. Oh no, then it's Star Wars.
Yeah. Da-da. And what's weird about that is that it's set in Coventry in 2027, and that's where it'll.
Yeah, ancient history.
Caravan, it leads right into Caravan of Courage.
Yeah. I want to bounce back to Doctor Strange just very quickly.
Do it.
Because something people aren't talking
Punch a
about.
portal,
Yeah,
is
Why
what
Punch a
she
she
portal.
said.
said that?
Yeah, she's cool.
The is the score like Danny Elfman? I like Danny Elfman. I'm an unabashedly a Danny Elfman
Yeah,
fan.
he was going off in this.
Fucking, it was like
It was-
Boingo via
So
Batman.
ridiculous. It was great.
There was
It was two old weirdos getting together and going, they've given us the keys to the kingdom. Yeah, the most popular fucking franchise, like as in Marvel. Two old weirdos who haven't done anything interesting for a while, and they just went absolutely fucking hardcore
Yeah.
on it. And it was great. That was what was good about it. I
the
really
score
enjoyed
was
that.
phenomenal. I think there was a couple of cues. You know when they, yeah.
I opened it's like, okay, cool.
I could just imagine Danny Elfman there with his big ginger hair and his weird shorts, with his top off, just there, like strumming his fucking Strat like he did at
Weird
Coachella.
science.
That guy, what the hell happened? Because all of us came out of 2 years of lockdown looking like absolute shit. And he's gone completely the other way. I was like, he's always
He's
looked
like
like
ripped,
a goddamn
isn't
dweeb. And then he's ripped and he's old as fuck and his hair's grown out and he's got tattoos all over him. It's just he just looks awesome.
It was
insane.
mad.
I watched him play the
Yeah.
Simpsons theme on YouTube and I was like, what the fuck is this? It's
That
insane.
Coachella thing was
So good.
bad shit. I felt exactly the same. You're like, this dude's nearly 70 or whatever he is. It's like, but I remember him kind of being I mean, it's really weird. Like, he was always kind of considered the younger kind of the composers, but he's like,
Yeah.
what, 66, 65, something like that. But
It's all
that
about
was
Michael Giacchino now, isn't it? He's the
Giacchino.
he's a good composer.
Yeah.
Except when he does
He's
Jurassic
very-
Park films and doesn't do the Jurassic Park theme because
Yeah, that is
why would you
very
do that?
obscure. Was there a...
It's like the only thing he's ever done wrong.
Exactly,
It's
but
really
all the
bizarre.
scores otherwise are like Oscar-worthy scores, and like Up
You
and
just
stuff
wonder.
like that.
You
It's
just
just like,
wonder.
amazing.
You wonder if he would like. I was thinking about this the other day because some guys whose podcast I watched, they're reviewing all the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World films, and they mentioned the exact same thing. And I remember I remember that and thinking the same thing at the time. Like, what the fuck? I think he must have been told, like, the one thing you cannot do is use the Jurassic Park theme, or else why would you not do it?
It was a very odd choice, wasn't
Makes
it?
no sense.
And even in that new trailer, which is like massively amping up the legacy stuff to the point where they've like recreated the poster, that's my T-Rex, with the kind of the real life T-Rex, but then they've not got those, like what they did with the Star Wars trailer when A Force Awakens came out and stuff. They used those cues and it elicited sentiment, you know, it kind of made you teary-eyed. I think it kind of didn't do that in the trailer, which is a shame.
What's to get teary-eyed about? It was like a weekend of hell for these people where they had to survive a theme park that was trying to eat them. And now it's, 35 years later, and then they're like, let's get the gang back together. What gang? There was no gang. They were like, at the end, let's get out of here and never talk about this ever again.
Yeah, I don't want to see you ever again. Like that kind of thing.
You know what needs to stop
Harrison
happening?
Ford.
It's fine. Bring people back. Legacy sequel. This right. Does anyone wear the exact same outfit that they were wearing one day 25 years ago? No, they don't. Stop fucking doing that. He doesn't need a black leather jacket. She doesn't need shorts with a tied up fucking shirt. He doesn't need a goddamn cravat and a cowboy
90s
hat.
are back, man.
Stop it.
Unless it's
No.
a black t-shirt, denim jeans, and a pair of Converse. That's the only clothes that people wear that they wore 30 years ago.
But it's ridiculous. It's like everyone's a cartoon character and they've just got one outfit. Like, I hate it.
I mean, it works. Going again
Never
to
know, it
use
could be a good movie. It could be a good movie.
Yeah, I hope. So. You know what? I hope to
Could.
God it is because
It
I
won't
love
be.
Jurassic Park. I love Jurassic
Did everybody
Park so
see
much.
the Avatar trailer?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Do you want to visit the Maldives, Matt?
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Well, do you know me? The answer is no. I don't want to visit anywhere.
He's
I
English.
hate everything. But to be honest, yeah, it probably wasn't the greatest trailer, but it's James Cameron, and you can never count him out. There's a reason why he's been obsessed with it. It's probably going to be good.
I agree with you.
He doesn't
big Titanic
make
fans
bad
here?
films. He just
Titanic is a really good movie.
Yeah, I
when
love
Titanic comes on and I watch it, it hooks you. It gets its hooks into you.
Right.
Smolchy, weird, overlong. Again, but it's the same thing that I like about Doctor Strange and the sorts of films I like. Is there's no shame of it in Titanic. There's no shame of the smolchy romance and the cheesy shit. He
Celine Dion.
just gives it to
Just lean
you
into
wholesale and goes, I don't care, here it is. And I like that in a film. I don't like a film that has to be all like pretentious and cool and like, I
know.
Tom, were you alive when Titanic was the biggest thing ever?
We're,
In
I've
we're
seen
almost the
3
same
times
age,
in
my
the
friend.
Oh well, maybe it's just because I look so much.
How old are you, Tom?
I don't know.
Tom looks
we're the
just
same
so
age.
young
We're,
and handsome.
James, we're 35 both.
Oh, okay.
I
Oh,
went 3 times to see Titanic at the cinema. I think it's a really good movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that shit fucking took the world by storm, and it wasn't the Celine Dion thing was not cheesy
I
then.
saw
It's
it. Yeah.
fucking cheesy now.
And you know what?
Yeah,
And the fact
and-
that Billy Zane is in one of the highest grossing films of all time is just
He's a cad.
It's just,
what a caddy
it's just
is in the
wonderful.
movie.
Yeah.
When he's like, "Get me on the boat," and like pushing children out of the way and stuff. It's so good.
Guys, should we just pause this now and go?
Oh
watch
yeah,
Titanic?
we'll be right back.
I
We'll
thought
be
it's
right back.
I thought it's a watch
after these
along.
messages.
Yeah.
It is a really, really good
Look.
movie. Oh, look, he's made the head.
Oh, he's made the head.
I made the head. It was a man, and now it's
I was
Well,
going to say
he's
some.
the king of sequels, right?
Yeah.
Titanic, man. James Cameron.
Titanic man.
Mr. Titanic, man. You know, Terminator 2, Aliens, the 2 best sequels ever, probably. So, you know, this could be really good. And then you can do Titanic 2.
Titanic.
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 The boats, there's 2
Titanic,
boats,
Too
and they
Furious.
crash into each other in the night.
That's
But the lovers are on each
No,
boat, so
no.
there's the boy on one boat and the girl on the other boat, and they're like star-crossed lovers as the boats cross, but then they crash and they sing.
But maybe it's a villain who has an iceberg and crashed ships.
Yes.
The iceberg is a big robot.
Could this be a backdoor threequel sequel to The Abyss?
There
So
you go.
once they sink,
There's like
'Cause
aliens
that
that
shit's
come out of the
dope.
water.
Oh, no. It's
And,
it's the
Ed Harris
Avatar
is
people.
fucking
Avatar
rules.
people coming out of the water.
And John Connor's on it.
Lol.
This is why
You know
there's
what, like,
5
two-
more Avatar movies, because he's
Yeah.
building to this. It's like his own multiverse of madness. Crossover.
My gripe with the Avatar trailer was that
Two
I'll come. I won't forget. I'll come back to you, Fleur.
It's a teaser.
I just want to say this.
I don't
I
even
want
know.
to say this. My gripe with the Avatar trailer, and this isn't anything to do with the filmmaking. It's not that. I just don't think there wasn't any conflict in it. I don't think
But
there
it's
was
a teaser.
any.
It's a teaser, James. Come on.
Yeah, I know. No, I know. But there was nothing like, oh, this is pretty. What's it about?
The music
kind
was
of
good
thing.
though in it. I thought the music was good. Although will it miss James Horner? I don't know who's doing the score, because obviously James Horner was just like the boss.
Also,
man, the boss.
we're spoiled for CG, because people saying that CG was fucking rubbish don't realize that there's nothing real there.
Yeah.
Like, I think that some of those close-ups were pretty fucking wild. When there was no, the problem with Avatar as a whole is that it's the elongated sort of size of those creatures and the design of them, they make it looks fake no matter
Yeah,
what.
it's
a bit like
But when you
She-Hulk,
go
isn't
in
it?
and
A bit
zoom
like
into
She-Hulk.
yeah, exactly. When they zoom into their hands or like their hair and all that sort of shit, it's like that's
It's
pretty.
It's the
top-notch
uncanny
stuff,
valley
like-
thing, isn't it? It's the thing that kind of happened with those Hobbit films and stuff like that. When you've got Legolas, and same with the Matrix sequels, people doing things that our brain has no frame of reference for. So
like rubbery jumping around shit.
so our brain automatically goes, "Oh, that's fake," because there's nothing to compare it to within that kind of thing. So that it could be the best CG in the world, but our brains will recognise that it's not. Until we see a fucking 8
I
foot
think
tall blue alien, our brain will
Avatar,
be like,
it'll be one that's in the cinema. It'll be better in the cinema, like the first one, because you can just get lost in it, especially if the 3D is good, because you went in to the movie and that was what that was about, that movie, and people forget when you watch it at home or on a phone. It's just like, oh well, it's Pocahontas with blue people. It's like, watch it on a big screen and it was just unbelievable. I think I went to see
was a
that
theme
5
park.
or
It's a
6
theme park
times at the
ride.
cinema, Avatar, because I was just like, nothing else like it.
it was phenomenal.
However, there's an awful
It's
lot
a
like
theme park.
it.
It's a theme park. It's a theme park ride, and it needed to be experienced like that. And I'll give him props, like, because of my glasses and my poor vision, 3D doesn't often work for me. Like I went into that thinking like, holy shit, this stuff's good. Like this works, and it was the only movie I ever saw that actually
same
worked.
He didn't come out though, didn't he? He didn't have stuff flying out at you like all the other idiots
No.
do. It
It
was going
receded
in
back.
so it was just like the sense of depth
Yeah.
that you got
Yeah.
on that movie was ridiculous. Like it just felt like you could reach into it almost.
I think I'd be more interested in this Avatar 2 if it had, and I don't like 3D. I don't want gimmicks for the most part. But if he's gonna do this, it would be more interesting if it pushed something forward. If it had another thing, if it was like in that 4DX stuff or something like the only way to watch it was to go to a cinema where the fucking chair moves or something. Like I don't know, going back now and getting passive glasses to put over my glasses. I don't know. I don't know.
Didn't you
See
get the
what
active
happens when it
glasses
comes out.
one? Didn't you have the active glasses one? The cinema with.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Whatever. No, because that was IMAX. Like here, they always had the active.
They had like different
Wasn't the
ones.
active glasses just
It
the IMAX?
depends on the
thing?
project.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. There was
projector.
like fancy ones, and then there was just like the real D ones that are just like flimsy pieces of shit.
I think Avatar's probably the only film I've ever seen with the active 3D glasses. I might be wrong.
They had.
Yeah, you must be right. Like that's why it worked.
Our
but
IMAX
yeah,
had
it was always
like for every movie we had the active one.
I generally avoid us watching 3D films. I think I went to see Nightmare Before Christmas in 3D and was like, what is going on?
Avatar
Why?
like 6-7 times, and I saw Phantom Menace in 3D. Phantom Menace in 3D was really cool.
The
Was
problem is, if I want to
Yeah.
see it in IMAX, they put it in IMAX OV, and it's always 3D, especially in Marvel movies. So I cannot get around it. So I have to watch it in 3D.
They're still showing 3D now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just don't go to 3D screenings because it gives me a headache.
I can't.
There
Choose.
literally is none here. I wouldn't be surprised if they've like thrown that stuff out.
But they also have Screen
There's
X, which is
nothing-
nice.
they don't
I
do it
heard
here.
for Top Gun, it's going to be nice, and I'm going to see it next week. But I'm excited for that.
I need to see
Oh,
that.
Top
bad
Gun
boy.
looks awesome.
Top
And also
Gun
the
looks amazing.
director,
But you know, guys
his
know
other
Screen
two
X, by the way?
movies are two of the best looking movies of the past decade. Tron Legacy and Oblivion, although script-wise aren't amazing,
Oh,
are
it's
the
him. Yeah, that's
best
right.
looking movies. They look so good. He's got an amazing eye, and I think for something like Top Gun, with all the aerial action and stuff, it's going to be a good looking movie. And then there might be a scene where they're all like naked and stuff.
Yeah, well, there is. There's
the
American
beach.
football on the beach, isn't there?
I bet you it's not quite
Hanging
as.
with
I bet you
the
it's not quite as like
Homoerotic.
homoerotic as
Oily?
the original. Because they used to just go for stuff in the 80s. They didn't care, did they? But
No.
now it'd be a bit more
Hip, hip.
tame.
Here's a
You know how long that scene is, too? It's so long.
Here's the
They
thing.
just play volleyball for like 15 minutes.
I don't actually
Amazing.
really. I don't dislike Top Gun,
Oh, here we go.
but I don't.
Oh, here
It's
we
not
go.
one. You know, like those films that you watch.
Get into the danger
like
zone,
Back to
man.
the Future and stuff like that. It was like, oh yeah, that's good. Okay.
They're so sweaty all the way through the movie, no matter what. Everyone's just sweaty.
not-
Well, they don't want to use
weird.
the
It's such a great
moisturizer that I've been using if they're that sweaty. Because good God, they'll be crashing those planes into mountains.
Yeah.
Well, the reason that it's not is like Top Gun is the all-time dad film. Like everyone's dad fucking loves Top Gun, and it's not an it's. I think it's lasted this long somewhat because it's actually just good. It hasn't lasted for nostalgia and cool shit. Like it's just actually a good movie, and that's why it doesn't hang with those sci-fi sort of nerd things that we watched as kids. Because I actually thought I didn't like it. Because every fucking place that we went, like all my mum's friends, where we would just get like, oh, just play with those kids or whatever. We go for barbecues or whatever. The dad would have like a new fucking 90s, early 2000s sound system and want to show it off. And they'd always fucking use the start of Top Gun and just crank the shit out of it. Bong! And then...
It's just a really good
And that's
movie.
all it ever was. Yeah, but it's actually good. I watched it 7 months ago, something like that, and it's
You
just
know
fucking
what?
Good. So
I'm
watch
going to
it
make
again,
a
I think
note to
you'll
watch Top
like it.
Gun because I reckon it's.
Tony
I reckon
Scott's second best movie, I think.
I don't think I've watched it in 20 years.
What's his
The
first
Last
best?
Boy Scout. Which is a perfect action movie.
That
It is
is
a very good film.
good.
He swears if he's going to get out of this, he's going to dance a jig. And then at the end, he dances a jig. Bruce Willis, when he was like at the height of his amazing powers. Oh,
I
that is
saw the
nearly
start
as
of
good
that
as Die
film
Hard.
far too young. I saw it too young. The start of that film because isn't that the one where like the football player on is like playing and he pulls out a gun?
Yeah.
Is that the Last
Yeah.
Boy Scout? Yeah, and he just
They like go crazy.
I was far too young, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" So, I don't even know if I actually seen the whole thing.
Hey,
No.
Watch
There
it
you go.
again. There's the
make a
bit
note,
with
make a
like the hand puppet and stuff, and it is so good. And then it's
Made a
got a
note.
Shane Black like well-spoken goon in it, the baddie in it, and it ticks lots of Shane Black sort of script
Yeah, sick.
things. It's a wicked movie.
So,
I
on
have
about
rewatched.
Legacy.
Oh, sorry.
Go for it. No, sorry, Tom, go for it.
I just rewatched yesterday The Northman, by the way, which was fun again, and was the second time better.
Oh,
than
I
the
need
first
to
one.
see
And
this.
I also watched again Everything Everywhere All at Once, which was 10 of 10 again, easily.
Oh,
see this
yeah.
Same.
Everything. It does look really cool. I was just going to say, like, on about Legacy sequels, I watched Space Jam New Legacy on the plane.
Ooh, so did
God,
I.
that is I honestly think it's the worst film I've ever seen. It was
Painful.
terrible.
What?
Terrible.
That's
I've
a
seen
good question.
worse.
What
I've
is
seen
the
much
worst
worse.
film you've ever seen? What is the worst film you've ever seen?
Oh, in recent memory, it was that. That was bad.
Oh, let
It
me
was bad.
Google it.
I didn't think that that Space Jam could be that bad because I'd heard that it's terrible and you know the Razzies and all that sort of stuff. And then the kids see it and it's just animation and they're interested. Man, our girls started playing basketball,
Oh,
so
sweet.
she was like, "Oh, the basketball movie." And we've seen the old one, which is surprisingly
Yeah,
fun
I
and
like
just
it.
like it still has charm and all that sort of stuff. But fuck me dead, this thing was horrible. Like
So here,
bad news.
I mean, the thing like that was so jarring about it was trying to be meta, but also trying to kind of keep up with stuff, and it just didn't. Tonally, it was all over the place, and it didn't work. And it like
It's the
Don
Warner
Cheadle.
Bros.
Don Cheadle's
It had a lot
amazing
of
in
that
everything.
thing-
Anything is in.
And he's terrible.
Yeah.
So, worst movie you've ever
It's
seen?
just-
Go.
I'm
So
gonna put that at the minute.
I can't-
Tom, how about you? While I think.
I got my name or the movie I watched is Kuso. It's called Kuso. It's like Los Angeles after an earthquake, and it's basically like it wants to be, I think, an art movie, but it's like people having like, you know, like open wounds and other people having sex with those open wounds and licking on them and stuff like that. It's like crazy shit. I most of the time puked. I almost puked in the cinema. I think out of the cinema. It was at a fantasy film fest where I watched it.
Jeez.
Like,
Is that an A20? Is it an A24 film?
Wow.
no, it's not. It's not. It's,
Okay.
I think
No, because they make
30
good
people
films.
or 30 people at least went out of that movie, and it's like this is just the harmless
Jesus.
shit I'm talking about. There was worse. So it's like, it's horrible.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
Wowzers. What about you, Matthew?
I don't
What's your
really
worst?
know because it's like, what's the worst movie? Is it like just because you hated it so much, or because it was so badly
Yeah.
made? So kind of like, I would say Batman and Robin is probably the worst movie, but it might be also because I went to the cinema to see it,
Yeah.
and it like scarred me quite deeply because it was just so awful.
With the benefit of time.
Well, that was the thing too back.
So go for
Huh?
it, Florrie. You go, Florrie.
Well, that was the thing. Sorry, man. So that was the thing back in the day too, is because we wouldn't get to go to see every film.
Yeah.
Like you had to pick. So if you picked the wrong thing, it was like, oh great, fucking 4 months until I get to see something good. Go, Jim.
I was just gonna say, like, I agree. It's not a great film, but like Super Mario Brothers, I kind of hold a bit of a. I can rewatch both of those films and get a sense of and get joy
Yeah, I'd
for
agree.
and actually enjoy it. Like, no, this is a
Not
bad
like
film. This isn't very
technically-
good.
It's not technically bad, is it? Because there's obviously like films that are just like, you know,
Yeah.
like your Ed Wood type sort of situation where where it's
Birdemic
just
sort of stuff.
so bad because they're incompetent, the people that are making it. But then also when there's a lot of money on the line, you expect more, don't you? from a
Yeah.
film?
I mean, I would say outside of that Space Jam film, there was I watched it with the kids, not my kids, just kids I borrow. That
just
kid
walked in on, with a bunch of kids.
Lava Girl and Shark Boy, The Adventures of Lava
Oh,
Girl and
yeah,
Shark Boy.
yeah.
Good
Oh.
Yeah,
God.
they're pretty bad.
Like, yeah, I mean,
Oh,
But
old
I've seen
Robbie
worse.
Rodriguez
I mean, you
is
sit through it,
struggling.
nothing happens. I mean, it's okay. But I mean, this other one was just like straight up disgusting.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like the experience of watching it. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, I hated it, but is it actually bad?
Oh.
Like badly made?
I had a not fully formed shower thought the other day about. It's funny you bring up Shark Boy and Lava Girl, which is by what's
Robbie
his
Rodriguez.
face off the Spy Kids
Yeah.
stuff, right?
Oh, Boba
That
Fett dude,
first
isn't
Spike,
it?
we've-
Yeah.
We've watched. Well, yeah, which says something. We've watched all those, within the last few years because the kids don't see it, which is kind of my point, right? The Star Wars prequels are very similar in tone and visual to Spy Kids. Don't act. That's just my
It
statement.
is. It's kind of got
We
that.
it's really
I tell you,
weird.
3 films we went through the past week was the night at the museum movies with Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
Because like
They're fun. They're fun.
Martha wanted to watch it because she likes this stupid cartoon called Ridley Jones where the museum comes alive, and they're actually, for what they are, they're
They're-
all right.
It's the same as those National
I think
Treasure
they-
films. They're still
Yeah.
quite fun.
I like them. I like those kind of
National
adventures.
Treasure.
There's
I
an
like this
extended
adventure
sequence
stuff.
where the little monkey slaps him, and Martha was literally in tears, and I was like, "See, this is called slapstick, Martha. It is the height of comedy," and she was just crying and laughter at it because it was just a little monkey slapping him, little monkey.
We watched them in one of the lockdowns, and because they were just it comes up as like 3 tiles or whatever, blue, green, purple,
Exactly,
whatever.
yeah.
And I'm like, oh, we'll just run through these then. And yeah, the kids love the first one. I think the first one's probably the best, like as is usually the case. But yeah, I think they did okay, and it's always cameos, like whoever they can get is just a character in it. But I think they're quite well made and just goofy family films. I think they're good.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Right.
So, should we wrap things
What
up?
next?
Is
Yeah,
it-
because I need a wee and I want some
Yeah.
lunch. So you know.
So something to throw out for next time.
Is this going to end every podcast with you talking about lunch now?
Yeah.
I'm
Is this
hungry,
how it
man.
works
Keep
if
it
we
at
do
that
it at this
time.
time? Yeah.
Coming
okay.
of the supper club. We have a mailbag. Like, we've tweeted about it. We've mentioned it. No one's using it. No one's listening.
Because
No one cares.
No one cares. Nobody
No.
watches this shit. I don't
We are
care.
going to probably have to pre-record more episodes of this moving forward, just because Florrie lives at the arse end of the universe. So, if you
Or
or
do
do
you?
we? Well,
Mm.
No, it's
apparently,
you.
Whose
It's
country?
you.
Whose
Ugh.
country is? Whose country's doing better than?
Oh,
Who was
what a
first,
shit,
though?
You know?
shit show of a country.
Who was first? That's a good point. Yeah,
Yeah. Nah.
Who's better?
Anyway,
that's also a good point.
Well,
Yeah.
shouldn't I win then?
God, yeah. It's the people that like.
Well,
Well,
you know.
no.
Oh, Germany's not so popular now.
I lump you all
Eurovision
in-
Song
I
Contest.
lump you
Germany
all
got
together.
like
We got robbed. We don't need to talk about
Nothing.
this shit. This
Zero.
is bullshit. This is some serious bullshit. But I'm not gonna get into that.
I do think. No, I'm not going to go into
it's
my
a
thoughts on
popularity contest. That though, it's nonsense. It's got nothing to do with the songs.
that.
It really is
Yeah,
nonsense.
I think it was more of a.
I mean, this
It-
fucking
who
grandma
needs-
wolves get the banana shit. What was that? Really? This is better than the song from Germany? Are you kidding me?
Oh, he's
I'm out here.
The
I mean, Tom,
Europeans,
you're
mate.
renowned for your pop stars, aren't you, over in Germany? Like,
Come on.
I
But
mean,
the song, the song
I
was
think
actually
Nina?
because the rest of Europe want Germany to sort of like cancel the gas from
Yeah.
Russia. However, that
Yeah.
would destroy Germany as well. So I kind of like it's kind of
I
like
mean,
a bit of a.
join the club. We're doing a good job.
For the rest of Europe.
We're doing a good job at kind of self-sabotaging ourselves. So just join
Yeah.
Brilliant.
join the club. I mean, it seems to be the mailbag. So because we're gonna have to pre-record a few of these episodes, which is actually it's fun because there was a huge segment we cut out where. Anyway, you can drop us an email to openchannel.
There was more than just his leg up. You know when he got
Yeah.
his naked
Yeah,
shaved leg up.
those people
it
wondering-
went wild.
Why
Question,
Matt went
we have
off on
question.
one.
Down to a number
Oh.
4 took off. Took more meaning.
Email us at openchannel@vice-press.com with your questions, and we'll kind
If
of.
you do, you'll be in my favour.
it's
Maybe-
something.
Maybe I'll email.
Yeah,
I
it's
might
something the
email.
three of us have been desperate for ages. So
How about-
Yeah,
I'm gonna email.
you want to be in my favour and me like go leniently on you and
Can I suggest something? I don't know if you're gonna
Friendly.
take it, but from all the good people that mail in some good questions and some good discussion grounds, they can be considered for a giveaway in the future.
exactly my
That's
point.
a good idea.
This
Yes.
is exactly what I was
Maybe go on a
hinting at,
list.
but I didn't want to say it.
Yeah, I
in
figured.
case
I
everyone went,
No.
no, shut up.
I tell you
Oh,
what. On the
James.
next.
Idea.
Yes. Go for it. Live brainstorming.
Idea. Put all your we give them all a thing. They all get a number. Because we love to buy a single item for an idea that we have off
Yeah,
eBay.
that we use
that's
once.
James' number one job at Vice
Yeah.
Press. Yeah, that we use once. So get one of those little ball the thing of balls with a handle.
the
so
bingo,
you can
for the bingo
and you can
Because we.
you can pick one out.
So-
and then you can be like, oh,
And you ask
that
the
guy
question
won.
and you get a
Ball.
poster or
Whatever.
a print or a toy. Not any of these toys.
No, you go into the draw, or else we'll be poor because
Yeah.
we'll be giving away things for every
Should
single
every
question.
Shouldn't there be like, I don't know, like a criteria in terms of questions? I don't know if people ask,
Yes.
how old are you?
Yes.
This is gonna be
So-
problematic.
It's got to be
So-
an interesting that will spark an interesting question that will spark
Anything.
a good debate between people.
What we're going to do.
As you may have noticed, we'll talk about anything on
I
this show.
like this idea.
Correct.
Right, so
Pillows.
here's my. I'm going to pull everything together. Here's my idea. What we're going to do is I'm going to buy a little ball thing.
James loves buying things as well. So
I do, yeah, finding stuff on the cheap. I'll show you something I bought in a minute. Every question we read out, will after the end of that question, we'll go, is that ball worthy? If it's ball worthy, if it's ball worthy, we put it into the ball worthy basket. And then
I
when we
like
get
the
20,
balls go deep.
yeah, the ball, and then we dig
Jesus.
deep into the ball-worthy basket. And after we get 20 ball-worthy questions,
That's baller.
That's a lot
we
of
give, it a
balls.
bit, we give it a bit of a roll. So it might take a couple of episodes.
I'll make you a graphic, Tom, that you can just put up ball worthy.
And then we'll pull out, we'll whip
And we'll
out
have
a
a
ball.
voice. We're recording this, right? So we can get that ball worthy that he just said,
Yeah.
and that can be the soundbite.
Ball
worthy.
I can
And
do
we'll
this.
whip
Yeah,
out-
this could be a live
Yeah.
also. We could have done it live also, so don't worry.
So then we'll whip out a ball. We'll whip out a ball, and
Yeah.
we'll that winner will get a special.
The thing is,
prize.
we've spoken about all this at the end of this video.
Yeah.
There's nobody watching it. Nobody's going to watch it to the end because I never watch anything to the
Ah,
end.
Nah,
Someone
who
will
cares?
watch it.
Like, I reckon the thing is
We,
the
somebody
way
should say it somewhere. I think.
I think I'll post it online.
Yes.
I just want
I
to say,
think,
watch the
we
video
should.
to the end.
Because the other thing
if
is,
you
Just
watch
put
the
up a
video to the end,
poll.
you might win a poster. Is the way to get people to watch the
Well,
videos.
Just put a poll up on Twitter that just says, "Are you ball worthy?" Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Right, that's it. We've finished.
well,
this
no, no, no.
episode.
To
Wrap it up.
well-
It's 1:30. I want my lunch.
here's the other
I need
shit.
a wee.
I want to show
Wrap it up,
this.
James.
I want to show this. This is the other shit that I bought off eBay. I'm very pleased with that. Because what I also did
Oh, it's
was
little.
I bought two because I'm keeping.
Ooh.
Speaking of
Go
Batman,
on.
Son of a
Great
bitch.
job
They're
on the
going to go
poster, Floyd.
in
Great job on
in
the poster.
poster tubes, aren't they?
Yeah. So this is a full set of Series 2 Batman. Oh,
Are they
shit.
going in just our orders, or are they going in the bottleneck orders as
Just our orders because we don't have enough for the bottleneck ones.
Okay.
So
well?
they're just going.
It did sell more than we expected.
It did.
Good job,
Yeah,
Floyd.
Florey's Batman. Deservedly so.
Yeah.
So we need to get that other version printed
I
up.
still wish we'd done my June timed instead.
Okay, so here, there's another pat on your back, Flory. Everybody loves the new drop logo and designs, so congratulations. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for doing
I,
You know
I
what?
noticed
Yes,
that.
good,
I
good.
noticed that. It was a nice logo. Yeah.
I forgot you did it, Florey, and I went to Tom. Really like your new logo, and he goes, "Florey did it." I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember now." It was good.
I'm good for some things.
Yeah.
I never made that house logo.
Oh dear. How's the skate place?
No, just for a friend of mine. He's a mortgage advisor.
Oh,
logo.
that kind of house. I thought you meant the house. Right, let's wrap it up. Thank you very much, everybody. If you stuck around this long, we'll it'll be Friday when this goes up. So it's Friday. It's Wednesday here. We'll tell you when we're gonna do another one. Bye, kids.
Bye.
Bye.
Do I stop recording now then?
Right.
Yeah.